Hello and welcome back to the Only Fools Love Horses YouTube channel. It's a big week ahead for horse racing and flat fans are in absolute delight. York Ebor Festival is upon us. 4 days on the Naysmire, concluded with the Ebor Handicap on Saturday. Plenty of races, plenty of Group 1s, Group 2s listed, handicaps galore. Gentlemen, I'm really looking forward to the York Ebor meeting. It's a fantastic meeting every year. There's a bit less draw bias than some of these other tracks to go to, but you know, I'm looking forward to it. And Lee, it's 4 days of cracking action on mainstream TV. What more can we really be asking for?
Yeah, it's a chance for the North this time. We've got Ascot, Goodwood. It's a long week again, I suppose. 4 days there, but yeah, it's cracking action. It's one that I prefer over the likes of Goodwood. Harry, we were talking off there, and Harry says that it's a one that it's hard to find winners, I would have said, but I actually do all right. Yeah, I prefer it to Goodwood anyway.
Yeah, it's a nicer track, I think. York, just a nice, easier, fair track. You know, that straight track, that straight drive, lovely kind of thing. So I know
you don't get so much traffic problems. That's maybe is the key, like with the likes of Goodwood and stuff. So it's a bit easier, I would have said.
Lovely ground, usually sort of very natural ground as well. So yeah, we're waxing lyrical here. York, come and sponsor us. Give us money, please. Harry, yourself, how are you? And how are you ahead of York? Are you looking forward to it? Are you in good form?
Not bad, mate. I'm bracing myself because if it's anything to go off Goodwood, then I'm in for a long week. But so I've got my fingers crossed. I've laid my chips down already for the week ahead. So fingers crossed, we've found some winners, and if not, then it's the car's gone. I'm joking.
Gamble responsibly, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, obviously.
No. Obviously, we're very much looking forward to it. We're recording this Tuesday evening, gentlemen, so we have decks for Wednesday and Thursday. We're gonna very much skim past Wednesday, and the fact we're going to give our best bet. No weekend review. We're going straight into it. Pleasantries are done, and we're going to go into our Wednesday nap. We're gonna leave that under the carpet because by the time you're probably watching this, it may be an hour or maybe a couple minutes or maybe even gone past Wednesday racing. So we'll just give our best bet for any of you early birds watching the videos. Lee, I'll come to you first of all. Wednesday, plenty of race to get stuck into, headlined by the Juddmonte International. We could spend plenty of time on Paddington, why I absolutely love the horse. But what would be your sort of number one, or maybe sort of number 1 and 2 bets for Wednesday for these listeners watching in?
Yeah, look, I'll quickly run through a couple. I do think Paddington will win. It still looks a good race. I know there's only 4 runners. People can give out about that, but Mostadaf's in there and Nashua and even the Foxes. I think it's a solid 4. I think Paddington will win, and I hope he proves his worth, kind of thing. Especially after Guineas and Sussex Stakes, and to come here, I think just shows his mentality 3 weeks on. So yeah, Paddington. I do like Alligator Alley in the opener. Has won off a mark of 100 in the past, and now off 91. Didn't get into the Sugar Cup race, but I think Alligator Alley will go well. But I like Designer off the same mark as when 4th to Lord Ridderford at Goodwood. That's in the 4:45 tomorrow. Has won this race last year. Like I say, the same mark, but that was a good race, and I do like Alligator Alley in the opener, and that was third, just ahead the last day. So yeah, Designer I think would be my nap on day 1.
Yeah, I'm going to reveal it early. I usually like to go to Harry next with the nap kind of thing, but Designer, shock horror. Me and Lee are agreeing, and it's Designer on this one. I'm a massive fan of this horse here. I think she's got fantastic chance. Like Lee said, you know, that Goodwood run was fairly horrendous to watch for anyone who backed her that day. You know, like she had proper traffic problems, stuck in behind. Once she finally got going, she really motored towards the line. She's still on that same mark. She's only £5 higher than winning the race last year. But she won it really nicely last year, and I was trying to find ways to get her beaten and try and take her on with another way, but I just couldn't see past her. I think she's got a great chance at a track she loves, off a very workable mark. And there is a 3-year-old weight for age allowance in this race, but it's only £2. So these 3-year-olds who she won as a 3-year-old last year, 3-year-olds have a good record in the race, but I think she's got a great chance. And in what is probably a weaker race that she's probably raced in the last God knows how long, maybe the last 12 months, I think in the 4:45 designer for me, 5-1, roughly around that, is going to be my nap.
Double nap.
It's a double nap on day one. I think the bookies will be they'll be pushing that price out at least, definitely.
Yeah.
I in the other races, I'm going to go in the Vulture. I like Continuous. I think it's got a good chance here. I think plenty of horses in the race. Plenty of horses in the Vulture sort of like have the same bits of form. Gregory beating St. George last time out, with Klondike beating Klondike as well. 2 starts to go. Klondike was in that race again at Ascot, the Queen's Vase. Sorry, it wasn't the Queen's Vase, but beat Klondike the last time. That was a bit disappointing, just gone by. Castle Way went and won, the last time out in the Bahrain Trophy. Klondike was back in 4th that day. Tower London in 2nd. They all sort of have mix and matching forms, but the one who has a different set of form, and I think better form, is Continuous. 2nd to King of Seal last time out. 3rd in the Dante. Won by the Foxes. White Birch in 2nd. Very, very hot form. Passenger dead heater for 3rd that day as well. Epictetus in 5th. I think that's really, really good form. I think the best form in the race, potentially. Although as Gregory could be this sort of monster kind of thing, I'm with Continuous at that price.
Can I jump in for this race? I do think Canberra Legend has a squeak as the outsider, just because of how you said stuff like they've got interlocking form and it's not the strongest of form. Artistic Star has to step up. Castleway did win Gritty last time, but again, I think has to step up. And with Gregory, I'm just not so keen. For this type of race, I just think it's very short. I think Canberra Legend, who dwelt in the Dante when didn't travel 3 lengths behind Wapiro in the Hampton Court at Royal Ascot, and then 3 lengths behind Desert Hero in the Golden Stakes. Maybe he could take the jump up in this type of race. So I would give Canberra Legend a shout. I just wanted to quickly get the outsider in just as a big shout.
Yeah, big price now. What is it? It's 25s, roughly around that. Yeah, 25-1. So you're not the first person I've heard say about that horse. But yeah, I'd say Continuous, my other one. And
did you see Jack? Is that what you mean?
No, well, I haven't actually seen that tweet, but I've heard a couple of people about it.
I watched the lads, the Next Gen lads, and I messaged Jack, and I thought nobody will put up Canberra Legend, and he's straight away, as soon as I'm watching, he's put up Canberra Legend. But look, I do think it's got a good chance.
Yeah, 25-1. You can't really ridicule anyone for putting that price up, especially when the person sat to the top right of you on this screen is napping the fab, aren't you, Harry? You're like Gregory here.
Goodness me, lads. I've heard some utter shite in my time, but over the last 5 minutes, you two have absolutely topped it off. Listen, Gregory is just better than these. Keep it short and sweet. He's just a better horse. Frankie didn't have a winner until Gregory came along, and that was over 1 mile 6 in the Queen's Vase. You look at who was 8th that day, Sumo Sam. That horse came out at Goodwood and absolutely bolted in on the Tom Marcon. Listen, by a mile, Frankie won't be there. He won't be there this week for a joy. He'll be there to win everything he can get his hands on. I think Continuous has it to step up. That horse hasn't won since winning in a bog in St. Cloud. Castleway, well, we don't know what form the Applebees are going to turn up in this week. They're just simple as Canberra Legend won't win if it started now. Artistic Star just simply is not good enough. I've summed it up there. You've spent 5 minutes talking about how Continuous might win, Canberra Legend. Listen, I love Jack to bits. He's such a nice lad, but he puts up these horses and it just comes crashing down. I won't be surprised if Canberra Legend went off favourite.
You're digging a hole here, mate.
Well, I'm not digging any hole because, listen, great. I mentioned if I have a bad week, then the car's going. Well, if Gregory gets beat, the clutch is gone. So, Gregory for me, Ash.
Your clutch is already gone?
Yeah, the clutch has already gone. Well, we'll have the right wheel. That'll do.
That's you've made a case, Harry. You've made a very strong case, but you have dug a very big hole if it doesn't happen.
Keep digging.
It just won't get beat. It just will not get beat.
Is it a this will not be beaten horse?
Yeah, this will not be beat. Oh, it's beat.
Remember you said this about like Shishkin and all that, and yeah, it went astray. We'll clip this, don't worry.
It's fine. As I said, when Harry likes one, that's fine. If it's in the same race,
better for us.
That's one less.
I've already
horse to
said.
worry
I've already
about.
said off air.
Fine.
Radio Google will win your race. So you
That's
both
fine,
napped
fine.
one that won't win. So it's just
let's roll on
less.
Thursday. I think.
let's
one
roll
less
on
for
because
me to
this is
worry
going to be an entertaining show. This will.
We'll roll into Thursday. There's our Wednesday nap scrolling across the screen at the bottom. I just put that you can see how you're going to put. I put Radio Gregory. I put Radio Gregory down at the bottom. I can show you were going to put Radio Google. You can have both. There you are. I've mixed the two together. We'll move over to Thursday, and the opening group race is the Group 2 Lowther Stakes. Interesting 2-year contest, 6 furlongs. Relief Rally topping the market 2-1. Cherry Blossom 5-2, Flora Bermuda 9-2, Star of Mystery 10-1. Bigger about the rest. Plenty of juveniles here who could step up, could have the form already in the book. Harry, what do you like in the Lowther?
Yeah, I think all of us can agree on this one. I think we kind of like the same horse, and it is Star of Mystery. Now, I've just spent a minute talking about we don't know what form Charlie Appleby's going to turn up at York with. Well, I think Star of Mystery has a massive chance. Obviously, turned over at 1-6 last time out, but who knows? Persian Dreamer might just be a very, very good horse. Ash, you mentioned that was sent off 5-1, but obviously that horse finished behind Porta Fortuna in the Albany Stakes. Well, Matrika, that's franked the form already. Porta Fortuna ran an absolute blinder in the Phoenix. So that form has been upgraded. That could just turn out to be a very good race, even though it was a forerunner affair. But if you go back to this horse's penultimate start, she was brilliant in the Marine Britain Memorial Empress Fillies Stakes. As I read out the name of the race,
it's only the French races we have problems with, not just the Marine Britain.
But she was sent off 4-5. But when you back a 4-5 shot, that is how you want to win. I mean, she won by 4 lengths, and I say this every single week, but she could have won by 40 lengths. It was just that easy. And I think 10-1 is just seriously underestimating this horse. She's rated 103. She's got £3 on official terms to find with Relief Rally, who has taken a little bit of a walk in the market, albeit she's been very good. She was excellent at Newbury last time out. But if this ground stage is good to firm, she's got to tackle that for the first time. Star of Mystery's already won on good to firm before. I think 10-1's a massive price with the tongue strap on for the first time, Ash.
It's interesting you've mentioned the tongue tie there for the first time. That would slightly worry me about chances there of Star of Mystery, because what set off 1-6 last time out. Look for all the world. This is an absolute certainty kind of thing, and then she's been beaten by 2 lengths. There's not really been anything that's come out and suggested why, and they've gone to the tongue tie. Is there a wind issue there kind of thing? You don't know. And the reaching for the tongue tie of a 2-year-old on 5th start, you'd be a small worry. But I like the case. It's not going to be my main one.
One thing I would say, mate, is she pulled her head off last time. And that tongue tie might just help her just get into a rhythm. Yeah, help her out. Who knows?
It was a downpour arena. It was just beforehand as well. And I think she would prefer a quicker surface.
And I think Kevin Stott rode was it a 4-timer on the day? That you wrote?
Yeah, but you like Star of Mystery, don't you, Lee, as well? So you're with Harry on this one.
Yeah, same case as Harry. I just think that form was kind of all wrong. Turned over about 1-6, but I think it was strong enough form lines. Look, Cherry Blossom is a horse that I like. If Ian O'Brien sends her, won by 5.5 lengths last time out, was all at sea on debut. Only had 2 runs. Relief Rallies had 4 chances. Won the big sales race, which she was entitled to do the last time out after flying home and just being denied at Royal Ascot. And Flora of Bermuda fairly bolted up at Glorious Goodwood, but that was on complete different conditions to what she'll get here. So I think Star of Mystery is definitely overpriced. Each way 10s, and Cherry Blossom maybe to chase her home.
Yeah, that's a fair case. I don't I think Star Mission has got a good chance and overpriced at 10-1, but I'm with Relief Rally here. I think she's very good for William Haggis, Tom Marquand. I think it was Jack Nicol who put the tweet out saying that every single year, or most times every year, the first 2-year-old to come out of Haggis's stable to hit the track is usually a good one. And Relief Rally was that. She went and won very nicely at Windsor on soft ground, then backed up at Salisbury, beating Juniper Berries, who's been there or thereabouts in the decent levels of 2-year-old form this season. Was then second at Ascot in the Queen Mary to Crimson Advocate, who be sent all the way over from George Weaver's. There was decent form in there, beautiful Diamond back in third. Flora Bermuda has come out since and won, and then one last time out at Newbury, absolute scooted away. Step up in trip to 6 furlongs shouldn't be an issue because she's been doing very nicely at 5 furlongs on softer ground, and hopefully, like Harry said, good to firm. Hopefully, she'll be able to do with that 2-1. I think that's a big enough price for me to be taking it about
if
her.
That's the case with William Haggis sending his best 2-year-old out, why was she sent off 6-1 on her debut?
You'd have to ask connections and people, in more in the know than me. But I think that's something that the sort of Jack and I can, you can go find the tweet somewhere. It's on Jack Nichol's Twitter somewhere. I'm fairly sure I retweeted it at some point. But yeah, it's usually sort of like the William Haggis first 2-year-olds come out kind of thing is a fairly decent one, and I think she is. So yeah, I'm with Relief Rally 2-1, but I can see the case for Star of Mystery for sure. The feature race, gentlemen, on Thursday, day 2 of the meeting is the Yorkshire Oaks. I think it's an absolute belting race, gents. I don't know about you. I think it's a cracker. Save the Last Dance 7-2, topping the market. Blue Stocking 4s, having only been beaten by half a length last time out. Free Wind 5-1. Al Hussein 7-1 for this horse who won the Group 1 Nassau Stakes last time out. Warm Heart 9s, the Shrewds pick. Ross Carberry 11s, Stay Alert 14s. Big prices, big horses, great fillies and mares in this race. Lee, I think we agree on this one. What do you fancy?
Yeah, I like Warm Heart. I think can turn a dissipating run the last day against Save the Last Dance around. Was out the back of the telly at one point, stayed on really well. Your eye's always going to be drawn to Save the Last Dance because of what she done. But if you actually go back and watch, Warm Heart stayed on really well and just was totally out of the washing at one point and flew home fairly. But actually has the beaten of Blue Stocking 3 runs back. Won the Ribblesdale on better ground. I just think she'll be seeing a better effect. And I thought it was a massive price. Like you say, I think the money's come in. Plenty of people like the each way chance of Warm Heart. The Doyle has been put up as well, James Doyle. And like the chances. I don't get the money for Free Wind. Disappointed last time. I was beaten a long way. I know that was tacky ground, but sent off 10-11, I think. And the time before was sent off favourite. Pale Driver actually won the race, so it was still strong form, but it's just disappointed a few times. And I just think these are stronger fillies. Al Hussein's in there. Won at Glorious Goodwood, beat some strong fillies in the process, and I think that's definitely the danger for me. Save the Last Dance, I have backed the last few times, but I just on this ground, and I don't know. She just takes a lot of stoking up, and I think Warm Heart is a good play each way.
Yeah, like anyone who remembers our sort of like Royal Ascot review kind of thing, I said I really sort of like performance of the week for me was Warm Heart. It was definitely up there. I thought she was very, very good in the Ribblesdale. Just got to the front, didn't look around, didn't get scared by the crowd. And I think she just went. She was absolutely arrow straight up that rail, and I thought she was very, very good. Blue Stocking was staying on in third, and that form did get reversed in the Irish Oaks. But it was ground that was against Warm Heart. She was stuck towards very much towards the rear, coming out wide. She was, like you said, Lee, staying on, a bit of an eye catcher back in 5th, and it very much was sort of a case of
one to Warm Heart against Blue Stocking, though. Like they're still, she's been at twice already, like on better ground. That's the key to it. People, what's Blue Stocking 7-2, and the other one's 10s or whatever it is. Like
yeah,
a lot of price difference.
Oh no, definitely, yeah, and I think it's a good price. You know, it's been trimmed in from 16s, but I still think 9-1's a decent enough price about Warm Heart. I would give a small mention at 16s to Novakai. Could be one that probably go off 16-1 to be honest, or might even be bigger. But I thought was very good last time out, winning a listed race. Has form with Soul Sister and Musadora finishing second, and was second in the Fillies Mile behind a very good commissioning we didn't see the best of. She will be this price. I'd be surprised she goes off much shorter. She could, like there could be a couple of Shrewies, not like myself, who will be on it to sort of go and push this horse into tens. But I think she's got an all right chance. So there would be my two, and I think Al Husson will be there to make the tri-cast. So there's the tri-cast. Warm Hearts, Al Husson, and Novakai. Harry, I've given the tri-cast. Please try and beat that, would you?
Come on, Harry.
I think Rafe Beckett this year has done such an incredible job with the fillies that he has in training. I mean, he had a brilliant winner at Salisbury last week, obviously turning over Running Lion, I want to say. Was it Running Lion?
Yes.
Right. Just literally all of the fillies that have been competing at these top levels have just been running with merit every single time. Blue Stocking is basically a flag bearer that albeit she hasn't won since her debut in September. I mean, she returned with a pretty. I was taken by her run behind Warm Heart. Now, albeit Warm Heart got back up, and then she went to Ascot on only a third start. Remember, I know obviously Warm Heart. I think she had a run extra than her. That was a fourth start for Warm Heart. But listen, she didn't have a clear run in the Ribblesdale. She switched. She made good ground, and she was staying on towards the end as well. I think at the Curragh last time, that was the real Blue Stocking, even though it was soft ground, as you've already mentioned, Lee. But Save the Last Dance. I mean, Colin Keane, who was aboard, must have been thinking, how on earth have I not won that race? I mean, Save the Last Dance just came from another parish. It was just ridiculous. And I think she traded it, like, correct me if I'm wrong.
She traded, Save the Last Dance trade at the maximum, I think.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, only Ryan Moore could have got that horse up, or Luke Morris for that matter, or Sam Twiston Davis. They're just, those jockeys would just get those horses up. But Ross O'Ryan, I'm hoping, back on board now. I think will take a lot beating. I would be wary of Free Wind. That would be the one who I think is the bigger danger. Back on good ground. We've seen it with Inspiral at Goodwood. Ran no sort of race whatsoever, bounced back on the good ground. I think Free Wind is kind of the same sort of filly. We'll appreciate the better, only 3 lengths behind Pile Drive. We know that horse is top class. Won over course, and no, I don't think it was course and distance. I think it was a little bit shorter than it is going to be on Thursday. But I think Free Wind is going to be a danger, lads. I really do.
Well, you've given up 2 cases there. I think there are 2 varying cases.
It was.
To me and
how
Lee.
many are in there? 10. I think we've mentioned 9.
Yeah, well, you've done a fantastic job. It'll be the other one that goes.
We're giving out tri-casts. You're giving out
forecasts. I'll give the forecast. Well, Blue Stocking, Free Wind.
That's just what you get from us, really. Just you get the tri-cast rather than the winners. We'll move on, gentlemen. The Lonsdale Cup. We'll go over to Friday now at York. Plenty of races over there to get stuck in. 3 races we're going to be looking at, and it is the second race of the day, the Group 2 Lonsdale Cup, that we're going to be looking at. I don't have a fancy for this race, but Coltrane tops the market 3-1. Courage Mon Ami 7-2. Quick Fawn 7-2 if that does turn around from winning at Goodwood. Eldor off 8-1. I'll go back over to you, Harry. We'll fire through these. What do you fancy?
To be fair, Ash, I'm the same as you. If you put a gun to my head, I'd say Coltrane. Quick Thorn, you have already said that if that horse does go, I completely agree with you. I mean, this Stain division now just looks completely blown to pieces. Everything's there for the taking, and Quick Thorn is probably just one of those horses that those in behind just can't get back to him. And who is seriously going to go his gallop? They just won't. But if that wasn't to be and the Quick Thorn, came back to the lead, I do think Coltrane is the best of the rest in this. Courage Mon Ami was bad at Goodwood. I didn't like that performance at all. Had his chance to go and power on through the line, but just kind of faded out of it. And Coltrane, for me, I think is just consistent. will give you a run for your money. And if Asheen Murphy doesn't have this horse 25 lengths back turning in, he has a decent chance.
Yeah, that's the case, really. If Quick Form turns up, I don't think there'll be many horses that can get to him. I think he was very, very good. I don't think it was a fluke last time out. But Lee, what do you fancy in the Lonsdale Cup?
I have to disagree. I don't think it was a fluke, because I think Quickthorn is a very good horse. Proved it on a couple of occasions. I think it was Doncaster, Goodwood, over in France as well. Look, good horse, but I think that, look, they will not let him get that lead either way. And I do think it will probably draw in Eldaroff either way. I think the horse has been called a few names recently just because hasn't performed. Dwelt in the Gold Cup. That wasn't his true running. Was second in the Yorkshire Cup behind Gio Valletto. I thought that was a good run on the track as well. Won the St. Ledger. I just think he's the one who's going to be arriving late. And the Variant team, they're on a 25% straight rate in the last 14 days. So had plenty of winners in good form. And I think Eldaroff is the each way play in the race and will be coming home late. And even if Quickthorn goes, it'll be a complete different race on Goodwood. I really will.
Fair enough. The old
St. Ledger winner. I think Courage Mama and Me. I think Harry maybe is a bit harsh because I think that was ground related last day.
Yeah, I suppose it was like probably to a degree, but I kind of do agree with Harry. Maybe I'd like to see it happen again. I'd like to see him sort of run another better race to try and trust him again, kind of thing.
Yeah, you're right.
And yeah,
who knows? That Ascot run might have just have taken a lot out of that horse.
Yeah,
I mean, albeit Frankie was absolutely swinging on the bridle from 2 furlongs out. It was, and the writing was on the wall. That was only his 4th run.
Yeah,
and you know, like there's battle-hardened horses in here who will just
some
keep
of them.
Going
I think
and going.
Coltrane's had like 20 runs or something, and
exactly. Quickthorn's he's not far off it, yeah. But they're both 6-year-olds, and Courage Mon Ami. Listen, if Courage Mon Ami had 10 more runs under his belt, and he'd had a campaign as a 3-year-old, for example, that would stand him in better stead. But he has to give weight away to say Coltrane, and he's running off levels with Quickthorn. If you gave me a match bet, Quickthorn, Courage Mon Ami, I'd be doing my brains on Quickthorn.
Well, the good thing, the same with Eldaroff actually gets £3 because it doesn't have that group penalty.
Yeah, exactly. But then Eldaroff has had that campaign as a 3-year-old, obviously won the St. Ledger, and for a horse to do that. But then I kind of go, that kind of reiterates my point with Courage Mon Ami. Even though Eldaroff has showed a bit more than Courage Mon Ami on a few starts, still hasn't won. And
so they were actually beat 6 lengths by the second was beat 6 lengths by Quickthorn the last day.
Yeah, they were all bunched up, weren't they?
Yeah, they were all bunched up. So Eldaroff was actually I think was a quarter of a length from being second. You know, so if the race panned out different, you take out Quickthorn, it's actually ran a solid race, beaten ahead of a Gold Cup winner and so on. I just think it's going to be overlooked and overpriced, but yeah, we'll move.
I'll tell you who won't let him go. I think it'll be Broome. Broome will just go with him, I think. I think Ryan will just kind of... I mean, Pekin Opera's in there. Aiden's got 2 in there. So you'd be pinning your hopes on Mr. O'Brien saying, one of you, just go with him. Go with
you know what? It was they tried to blame it like as in if one was going to go, then it would mess their race up and all this thing. The pack will stay with them this time. The peloton will not let him get that same ride. They got absolutely slated the last time. They knew what they'd done. They'll not let it happen again.
It's an interesting one to watch. I can't wait to see this.
How it pans out. They might not be able to lie up with him, but they'll not let him get that lead. That's the difference, I would have said.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a reason why the horses that are in behind him in the race with him, when he goes from the front, they don't go with him. I mean, there's a reason. That's because he just has a massive a stride length on him, and he just gets into a rhythm that's just very hard to maintain for most horses. But he does it. I think, you know, then you're probably right. They will go with him, or they'll go at least much closer to him all the way around.
I think Tom Marquand will just go even harder. He just will. He'll just keep going and going and going and going.
That may burst your own bubble. Look, you've got to ride your own race. I think.
Yeah,
look,
yeah. He'll definitely ride his own race, definitely. Anyway, gentlemen, Group 2 Gimcrack, same day on the old Friday of York, the 3 o'clock, 6 furlongs for the Gimcrack. Killian, 15-8, topping the market. Johannes Brahms, I'm going to go for.
Johannes Brahms, I'd say. Johannes Brahms.
Johannes
Brahms. You know, the Aidan O'Brien runner. We'll go with that.
Yeah,
shall
just
we?
fucking leave it.
10-3, Hartem 7-1, Bahir 8, King's Gamble 10s. Bigger about the rest, gentlemen. If I don't have any opinion on the last race too much, Bahir 8-1 is one that I do have an opinion on. Pat Dobbs is jocked up, so fingers crossed does go to the race. Fought around an absolute blinder last time out on the wrong trip, the wrong ground, drifted like a barge before the off, travelled into the race like the winner, just didn't see out because of those conditions. Richard Hannon, I know he's one to talk up his horses, but he keeps talking this horse up time and time again. I think in this type of race, with an easier set of horses to beat, Bahir is the one that I definitely want to be with, although he has got stablemate Hartem to beat, who's sort of been there, done that this season. Harry, do you agree? Do you disagree? I think you disagree in this, don't you?
100%. Killian, nap of the week for me. I did mention, you've already said Bahir he was running on the wrong trip, wrong ground. Well, what was Killian doing over 5? That horse definitely needs 6. Absolutely fell out the stalls. I could have ran out faster the stalls than that horse. But goodness me, this horse made up so much ground. And Ryan Moore just couldn't get a passage through the inner. And actually looked like the winner in the final furlong for me. If it had got out, or if Big Evs would have got off the rail, which wasn't ever going to happen, was it? Then Killian, it might have been a different story. It was only beat a length in the end. But this horse is seriously good. Bahir is just, I mean, talk about blowing smoke at your own arse. I just literally, Richard Hanna, I just can't get my head around that horse. He's just not that good. He's just not that good. On what he's shown this year, now I'll happily be proven wrong. But he's just not that good.
And Newbury win was very, very good now. And I know he was beaten by Zulu Chief start the season, but that's still, I think Zulu Chief's still a very good horse. And when I won in the racing league the last day kind of thing, like just caught him off. The rain came down before the off of that debut run. Just taking a bit of time to come to hand. But like this horse being talked about as like a Coventry horse at one stage, you know?
Ash the third couldn't win off a mark of 74. How on earth is this horse going to win anything? Especially in this field. It's just not going to happen.
Listen, 8-1, I'm more than happy to take the chance on it.
Yeah,
you know?
And do you know what? The money will come flying in again, and then it will drift out and again, and you're just thinking, is this horse really good? Look, well, we'll get his ground. He's got absolutely no excuses on Friday, and if he wins, fair enough. But he won't. Killian will win. Nap of the week.
Oh, there's a clip. There's a couple clips brewing up here. I'm going to have a fun time.
Yeah, but there's always clips. There's always clips, and nothing ever happens. And last week it was... who was it that was in bed?
Sacred.
Sacred.
Yeah, Sacred.
That's silly for me.
It's Bahir all over. Lee, you do disagree with me, and unfortunately for many people up and down the country, you agree with Harry here, don't you?
I actually agree with you both. I think.
You don't. No, you don't.
Look,
you
Harry,
agree with me.
It's look. We haven't even got 3/4 of the way through. You've piped up. No, I think Bahia has got a solid chance. To be fair, I like the case you said, Ash, and I think the better ground. I tanked through that race the last day and actually travelled much better than Killian. But Killian was drawn the far side, like Harry said, fell out, come flying home. And I think it's between the two, to be honest. And I'd just edge Killian just because the Burke team, the local, and they like to target this meeting. And I think Killian will edge out Bahia, to be honest.
Good man.
Well, at least between the two in Lee's mind, there's a fly in the way. There we go. I've just grabbed it with my hand. At least it's between the two. And Harry's. You know,
I've got a question for you both.
God,
so that vintage stakes, that Group 2, is that the worst Group 2 we have ever seen?
With who? Sorry,
Hartem that won it. Iberian was second, Mountain Bear third,
no,
Golden One third, Son
because Iberian's a good horse. It's not a vintage race, but
It was awful.
But you know what?
Awful.
It might be, but it might be great as well. That's a time will tell thing.
They're 2-year-olds, Harry. You don't know. You don't know. They're 2-year-olds.
Hindsight, it's good to see. But
Hindsight's
look, Hartem's actually dropping down in trips, so be one that I'd be against in this race, I would have said.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
we'll see. We'll see, gentlemen. We'll roll on then to the Nunthorpe, big race of the day on the Friday. Get to see some big horses. And Harry, if Killian's a nap of the week, then there surely must be a nap of the century for Big Evs in here. But Highfield Princess, 11-8, topping the market, won the race last year. Brad Sell, off the back of beating Highfield Princess in the King's Stand last time out, 4-1. Big Evs, 7-1. Dramatized 10s, same price about regional. Harry, nap of the century, is it?
Ooh, it's tough because Highfield Princess is very good. But Big F's, I can't. On what this horse has shown already, on his fourth start, he could just be a monster. And listen, carrying 8 stone 3, he's got £9 on official ratings to find with Highfield Princess. 11 to find with Brad Sell. But Andrea Razzini's flying. Ever since he said he's going to move to Hong Kong, then he's just kind of.
I know.
He's been ridiculous, hasn't he? He's won everything.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know where Jason Hart is. Jason Hart banned.
He's riding Highfield Princess.
Yeah, I thought.
I have lost it.
Yeah,
I really have lost it.
Yeah,
You had me there for a second. You're like, what's going on?
Do you know what? I was looking at it. I was just like, I can't see it. But then, yeah, obviously Highfield Princess. Brad Sell for me is a little rascal because that horse was so good at Ascot, as he was 12 months prior to that. But before that, I mean, got tonked by Little Big Bear. It was pretty much tonked by a cold case.
Tonked on the bingo card there.
I can't have Brad Sell. Highfield Princess is short at 11-8. Now get stuck in if you want, but Gregory's a better 5-4, 11-8 shot than Highfield Princess is in this.
But you're with Big Evs.
I am with Big Ev. 7-1 is huge.
There we go. Lee, you're with Highfield Princess here.
I'm with Highfield Princess. I think she'll get the job done. I think she bolted up the last day. Everything was in her favour, but she power to the line. She looks a very strong horse, and yeah, I just think get stuck in type of job.
That was an awful race, Lee, wasn't it?
I don't think it was an awful race. I just think, look, she's won it decisively. You've went with a horse that's obviously gets the weight. That's why, look, she's beaten Group 1 performers. She is a Group 1 performer. Do you know what I mean?
No doubt.
Yeah, I just think I think she can give the weight and win this. There's a few in there. I think they've really got to step up their game again. I think Bradsell was just right on the day, but look, wandered across the track and actually impeded Highfield Princess, although won, fair enough. But I just think Highfield Princess will be raring to go and take this.
You go on, Harry.
Go on, Harry.
I didn't realise Twilight Calls was in here.
Changing the selection at the 11th hour.
No. Just I'm not obviously going to mention too much on that horse, but that horse actually could have won the King's Stand. If you watch the ride back,
couldn't have won it.
Watch it back. I think we can
just back Cardem, lads. Just back Cardem.
No, fucking hell, if Cardem wins, then the game's gone, isn't it? Again.
Move on.
What a horse is Cardem. It would be the distance for me that I'd be worried about Cardem, 5 furlongs, but back on decent grounds. Gotta love the boy. We'll move on then, gents. Saturday, we're going through all the main races from York, and we're firing into Saturday. The Group 2 City of York Stakes, a very, very interesting contest here, gentlemen. Group 2, only a name, it seems. 283 grand to the winner. Kinross 13-8, topping the market. Rafe Beckett, Sacred, William Haggis 5-1, hasn't been seen since. Is that in the QE2? That is right, 5-1. Isaac Shelby 6s, Alsa Hale 8, Mutta Sabek 8. I'm going to go to who do I want to go to first? I'm going to go to Harry. Isaac Shelby is the one I believe you are with in this race.
Yeah, I really like this horse. I just think there's a big pot in it. He's run really well in France. He's run really well at Goodwood. He was just touched off by Kinross. Obviously on Kinross's preferred ground. And Ash, I know you have a very strong opinion on Kinross, especially in Group 1s. I won't throw you under the bus if you don't want me to, even though you did say that horse is just not a Group 1 horse.
I won't throw you under the bus. I'll chuck your legs under. That's fine. That's all right. All
right. No, I'm joking. Sacred. If Sacred wins, then oh my goodness. But
you'll be a sick boy, won't you? Sacred. You just can't get Sacred right, can you?
No, I can't bear to just look at her when I wake up in the morning and go, "You've won again." I was like, "You've won again." You're just killing me. Isaac Shelby, Ash, for me, 3-year-old in this. I think was unlucky going to bounce back. Sean Levy gets on really well with this horse, and yeah, 282,000 to the winner. Elsa Hale also has a chance. That horse, I think himself and Sacred were going to go to the what's the name, Harry? What was the race at Newbury? Yeah, well, is it Hungerford? They were going to go to the Hungerford Stakes, but they didn't, which is fair enough because there's 283 grand on offer. So you can't argue with that. So for the forecast, Isaac Shelby and Alsu Hale.
Harry at the last minute has whipped out a little forecast there. Look, I have a bit of an opinion on this. I've said this before. Kinross, I worry about the form for Kinross. Look, I know I'd probably say the best piece of form in there is that third to Shaquille over 6 furlongs in the July Cup. But like, you know, the Group 1s that Kinross was winning last season. So won the champion sprint on good to soft ground when beating Run to Freedom and Creative Force, Rohan, Tenebrism in there, The Dream, Perfect Power. You know, like not vintage, I don't think. Definitely not vintage Group 1 form. It may have been, and like, you know, towards the end of the season kind of thing, catching these horses at the end of a long season. Before that, won the Prix de la Forêt, beat Malavath. Now, can someone tell me what Malavath has done since? Is that a Japanese raider? Entscheiden. I'm going to go with Goldie Style was back 4 lengths back and forth. Like, what have these horses done? I'm not too sure. Then before that, won the Group 2 Park Stakes at Doncaster, beat New Energy. That's gone off to Australia, having obviously, you know, been with Sheila Lavery, and there's a big thing around the whole Sheila Lavery and the new trainers kind of thing. Elsa Hale was back in third. Like, these aren't Group 1 horses that Kinross is beating. I know you've got to beat what's there, but I think Connections did a fantastic job of just placing the horse brilliantly last year. And, you know, returns now, the best piece of form, I'd say probably it was I've said the Shaquille form there. Another good piece of form was that Breeders' Cup mile. That was on firm ground. So you say that Kinross will probably handle the ground here. But like I personally think that Mutasabek at 8-1 is a really big price. This horse is very good on his day. Like, you know, 3 starts back, beat Native Trail by 3 lengths, absolutely kicked away, kicked him into touch. Light Infantry was back in third. That horse has been very, very solid in decent Group 1s. You know, since that run, went and finished. It was a bit disappointing in the Lockinge. Then went and finished second to Anmar over in France. Then was third to Triple Time in the Queen Anne with Inspiral there in second. Modern Games was in fourth. Berkshire Shadow in fifth. Then went over just recently to France for the Jacques Lamarois and was third to Inspiral. Big Rock was in second. Ernesto was back in fourth. Triple Times back in fifth. Erevan was back in sixth. So Light Infantry is a very good horse, and Mutasabek kicked him into touch, you know, at the start of the season. Native Trail, obviously not the force of old, but still did very good that day. Lockinge caught on the wrong side of the track slightly, but still ran a very good race and was running on at the finish. And last time out, Royal Ascot didn't make the running, wasn't the normal front running tactics, completely write the run off. I think Mutasabek is very much a Group 1 horse on his day. And 8-1 is an absolutely massive price with Ryan Moore in the plate. So I've rambled on too long there, but
you fancy it,
basically, yeah, I'd say I fancy it, Harry. I'd say I fancy it. Mutasabek 8-1.
Has to go from the front though, Ash. You can agree. Has to go from the front.
Yeah, that's fine by me. You can go from the front and won't come back. You know, like that's no problem.
No. I'm actually sticking up for you for once. If that horse goes from the front, it'd be tough to beat. But
you're very kind, Harry.
Oh yeah.
You've got my back. Very good of you. You can go and switch on a light if you want.
I know, yeah. I was just wondering there.
Go switch on a light while Lee tells us what he fancies for the race.
Look, I think you're saying Kinross isn't a Group 1 horse, but this is the Group 2. And look, Elsa Hale hasn't showed what he's worth. Sacred, she's you know, an in and out horse. I don't think she's a Group 1 horse, to be honest. Isaac Shelby, I thought should have got the job done the last day, and in Kinross held him fair and square. I would have said I think Kinross is the danger, but I do like Mutasarbeck. I think the drop down to 7 furlongs will suit the horse, as the horse travels so well in his races. And again, from the front, Ryan Moore booked up. And I think just a drop down, I think we'll see him in front. But I do think Kinross is the danger.
Yeah, I think it's harsh saying Sacred isn't a Group 1.
Horse. Look, you can neck on with her and sleep with her and do whatever you bloody want, but she's not a Group 1 horse. Like, are any of these really a top-notch Group 1 horse? I think this Group 2, it's got a massive pot in you know, they'll probably always cross lines. Kinross has already beaten Sacred and Al Suhail in this race, 6.5 lengths back the last day, the two of them last season. So look, Kinross has the beating of them two, and I think Isaac Shelby's got to step up. So I think Mutasarbeck dropping back, Ryan Moore, bounce out, Bosch.
Yeah, I like it. Bounce out, Bosch. That's what's going to be from Mutasarbeck. And I actually did a column about it last week, and my title was, what was it now? It was something along the lines of City of York Success Beckons, spelt BEK-ONS, because, you know, Mutasarbeck.
Look how happy you are about that.
I know. Give me an Oscar or a Golden Globe for me, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God.
You got to get a good title in, haven't you?
I was sat there at work in the office and I shared it with all my colleagues, and they had exactly the same response as you. So it's a renowned response, that. Well then, gentlemen, final race, the namesake of the meeting, the Ebor Handicap. And as we do know, Sweet William, the Ante-post favourite, is guaranteed a run if connections want to go 4-1. Obviously, the owner was a little bit put off by going to the Ebor, but I think John Gosden's probably done some sweet talking to get her to send Sweet William here. Absurd, Frankie Dettori, Willie Mullins 8-1, Real Dream 8-1 as well. Live your dream. There's a little double for you with the old dreams 10-1. Jack Finbar 14's bigger about the rest. Lee, you're a fan of this Ante-post favourite, aren't you? Well, Sweet William.
Yeah, I think it's had a good mark. I mean, Harry was dissing us earlier on there, but
I wasn't dissing you. I said, do you still think he's well in off 99?
100%.
It was the tone, Harry. It was the tone you said it in.
Yeah,
it was like, oh, do you really think he's that? You know, it was awful.
It was it looked to be put up £4 for the last day, idled in front, absolutely bolted up for me. Won previously as well, from absolutely bolting up as well. Like, just, I think it's just got such a progressive profile. Like you say, is the owners weren't keen to go, but I bet John Gosden's saying you're enough going. Do you know what I mean? He says he loves the race. Look, I think it's so well in. I think £4 was lenient for the last day, and I think it's a really good bet. And look, one on different conditions. So whatever the weather does wouldn't inconvenience Sweet William. I think 4-1's probably fair enough, to be fair, and I think it's fairly chucked in. But it's almost like a Coral Cup or something. Like, you don't know what to lurking in behind, what's saved a few pound for this race. It's a £1 million race, I believe. Is it £1 million? So it was, I think it was
300 grand to the winner.
Yeah, 500 grand race in total.
500 grand, sorry, yeah. So
tight gets, isn't they? Tight gets.
I know, tight gets. But yeah, no, I just think it's very well in. The other one I'd give a shout to is Yasin. I think needs good ground from the Jesse Harrington yard. It's now off 105, which is probably a stiff mark. One off 95 over in Ireland. It did win a Group 3 though a few runs back. Beat Dawn Rising, who's come out and won at Royal Ascot, or Kate Asuche, who won at Royal Ascot as well, and also Emily Dickinson, who won a group race the last day in Ireland. So very strong form lines in that Group 3. Didn't perform on softer conditions the last day against Emily Dickinson, but back on better ground. I think Yashin is definitely an each-way play, but I think Sweet William, I'm all over Sweet William, and I think nap of the week maybe.
Lovely. Harry, you like Yashin as well?
Lev Yashin is the one for me because he's going to save my bacon. See what I did then?
You think? How long have you been thinking about that?
That's worse than yours.
I reckon
my plan is to make it worse than your puns. No, I think everything that Lee's just mentioned, Yashin has a massive chance, albeit beat Emily Dickinson, who then beat Yashin. But that was on soft ground. I think you can kind of disregard that. I think this horse, a 4-year-old, was always going to promise to be bigger and better. Absolute brute of a horse. And just going back to that Leopardstown run, he was so keen. And the fact that this horse just kept going and going and going, that's what really took my eye and just kind of screamed an Ebor, really, just that type of profile of a horse. And I think Yashin has a big chance. Scampi, obviously the Ascot winner last time out, is already booked up with Safi on top, but 16-1. Expected to go up £4 more in the future. So that could be interesting if fulfilling his entry is number 20. So in theory, if they want to go, they've got a runner. But yeah, this is a tricky old race, and
that Scampi will get battered.
Yeah.
I thought I'd chip in with the badge.
It's the equaliser. It's the equaliser.
I tell you what though, there was one horse who I was actually thinking of backing earlier this week, and guaranteed a run. It's
got to be a joke, this.
No, guaranteed a run. And Yukon Glen.
Script writer, is it?
No, Yukon Glen. Yukon Glen has a run in this again, and if they want to go, they can go. So I think as a 10-year-old, how many 10-year-olds have won this race?
Don't do that. No,
I don't know. That's just a question.
I wouldn't know.
But I'd also love to know how many Ebor winners have ran at Southwell and been beat.
Probably quite a few, to be fair.
No way.
Who's done that? Is
Sweet William.
Yeah. Write it off. Take out the race. Connections go somewhere else.
That's it. Rip it up.
No, nice case made there. Yashin 25-1. I'm going to be with a Willie Mullins runner here. What?
Lev
Yashin, the old pun. Yeah, see, that's instantly made it worse because you've gone for a pun again. You've really tried to ram it down our throats there. The pun right there. I'm going with Willie Mullins runner here. I'm not going with the typical one that people think it's going to be with Absurd.
That is absurd.
Just stop now, please. You're really hurting me now. Jack Finbar is the one I'm going to be with. I thought ran a very, very promising race last time out behind Brazil in a nice little Galway handicap, the Guinness handicap over in Galway. Even before that, Ross Common was third to Espionage, who looks like a decent animal for Aidan O'Brien. But look, you have to take a bit of a leap of faith here because this horse, before running its first race, which is that Ross Common race for Willie Mullins, was with Harry Dunlop and had a total of 1,459 days off the track. I must have had a bit of an injury or a setback, or you'd think so, wouldn't you? But finished the 2018 season winning the Prix de Lutis over in France at Longchamp, beat Ziad, which is a pretty decent form then back then when Ziad was a nice horse, and then was disappointing at Sandown on his last start for Harry Dunlop, but seemingly come back to Willie Mullins in fighting form. Is meant to be rated 105, but only in here off 103. So technically £2 well in officially the handicapper. I just think is a typical type to go and win something like an Ebor. Looks to have a couple of pounds maybe up his sleeve. And I wouldn't be putting anyone off 14-1. It's not the strongest fancy I've ever had in the world, but I thought that was the one that caught my eye at the price is Jack Finbar with William Buick in the plate. Gentlemen, then we'll go over to week naps or anything else. We've already covered everything else of the Wednesday. Is there anything else, Harry, that's taken your fancy? If not, what would be your week nap for York?
And it will be a week nap spelled WEAK because it'll be beaten. Do you want to explain it again? Because it's not like I didn't understand it the first go. I'm going to give you a treble, Ash, as mine. I'm not priced it up yet. If you could price it up for me, that would be splendid.
Let me load up Oz Checker in the background. Go on.
So I'm going to go with Gregory tomorrow. That's going to kickstart the treble.
Yes.
And then I'm also going to go Paddington
Right.
So there's a double on the first day.
How'd you pick them, Harry? Did that take quite a while to pick them, or?
Yeah. Well, listen, if you want a winner, call the number. And I'm going to go with Killian as well, please, mate.
What race that in again? You have to refresh the old memory.
Is the Gimcrack. 3 o'clock York on Friday.
If you stand by, caller, I'll get that to you in due course. What's the bet slip saying? You can have 9 to 1.
Yeah.
9. So there's a 9 to 1 now.
GSI.
Harry hasn't backed to win it, I think, since 2021.
I'm just going to check if my horse won today.
Very good. While he's checking, Lee, what's anything else or the nap for you?
I do like Alligator Alley in the first tomorrow. If I think it's on a good mark, hopefully that one can run well. I will take. Look, can I go a bit rogue and do a lucky if Harry's doing a treble?
Oh, my lord, I'm not pricing up. I've done.
No. I think Mutasarbeck, Eldaroff, I think Sweet William and Warm Heart. I think them 4 are overpriced and in each way lucky. Not too bad, but I think Sweet William is the nap of the week.
I'll put it on screen. I'll put it on screen what the odds are. I'll do it in the edit what the odds are for that, and when that comes in, you know, crowned king over here.
So Sweet William for the nap, though. Sweet William.
I'll give you 2 horses, but it won't be a double or anything like that. Or you can have it if you want. I'd say the nap is Mutasarbeck in the city of York, and the next best is Designer in the Fillies Handicap, which is the penultimate race on the Wednesday. That's for me. Harry, were you looking at anything in the background there while we were talking there on your screen, or no?
You don't want to know.
That's fair enough. That's all we've got time for, though. We've covered all the main races from York, and that's all we've got time for. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. Hopefully it was an enjoyable video. We've gone through all of the main ones, so you should really be enjoying this. And show your love. Go and like the video. Show your love.
Last chance for the competition as well.
Thank you, Lee.
It's going to be announced on Saturday, the competition from Horse Racing Pins. Go and check out the Only Fools of Horses page. It's pinned to our profile, all the details there, but last chance, and it's going to be drawn on Saturday.
Fantastic stuff. If you're having a bet this week, please do gamble responsibly. We're back 10:30 a.m. on Saturday for the Saturday Live on Twitter, our finalised fancies for Ebor Day, and we're back next week, I'm sure, or whenever it is, to have a little look through. Thank you very much, and we'll see you very, very soon.